Hey there, dog lovers. You're listening to Wag.Wander.Repeat, the podcast where every tail has a tail and every pup is part of the pack. I'm your host, Frankie, here to celebrate the joy, the mess, the magic, and the mayhem that comes with life alongside our four-legged friends. Grab a leash, a treat, or just a comfy spot on the couch, and let's dive into today's adventure. I have some fun stuff that I want to share with you today, and I will be chatting about keeping your dog's mind and body active while you spend some time inside. I don't know about you guys, but Arizona's pretty warm in the summer, so this is the time of year where we spend more time inside than we do outside, which means enrichment toys, a lot of fun stuff for dogs to use inside. Thanks for being here. And as always, my Wonder crew, I hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, please drop some questions, comments, anything below, but also we would love for you to subscribe. Now, let's get started on our Wags and Winning segment for this episode. I have a couple stories that I just love, and I thought it would be fun to just share them with you. So a group of transfer students have formed a transfer task force, a student organization with the mission of raising service dogs for canine companions. They named themselves after the fact that they were helping puppies transfer into their role as service dogs. Like how they transfer from their school, the students will socialize the puppies, help them get comfortable in new environments, and start basic training to prepare them for service dog school. I love that idea. All right. Another story I saw on my news feed this week, just kind of looking around for where my puppy decided to go, is a 31-year-old continental toy spaniel who was recently adopted after outliving its owner, is now the oldest dog. So this dog was recently adopted from an animal refuge in France, where once they reviewed his history, they were stunned to find out how old he was. Considering his breed usually has a 15-year life expectancy, they're currently waiting for confirmation from the Guinness Book of World Records, but the last record holder was an Australian cattle dog named Bluey, who passed away at 29 years old. So we might have a new record holder. Can you imagine, 31-year-old dog? I love that. I wish my dogs were all going to be that old. And finally, here's your reminder to keep an eye out for bills recently introduced by the U.S. With the goal of protecting animal welfare. There's a total of 5 new bills tracked by the American Kennel Club. And I think it's important for dog owners to get behind these bills. They cover a range of regulations from breeders to importing dogs to dog ownership, but most focus on increasing regulations and animal safety. You should also get to know and watch these bills to think about getting in touch with your local leadership to support them. So there's a bunch of new legislation that's coming out around animals. I'm going to drop this on our Facebook page and kind of list out a little bit more there, but also share some links so you can find the information. Now, on to today's topic, to talk about enrichment for indoors. With summer coming and the temperatures getting so hot here in Tucson, it's important to find ways to keep your puppy mentally and physically active while inside in the AC. These tips are also great for other days when you can't get out of the house, whether there's bad weather or there's so much work going on or whatever it is. So first is enrichment toys and puzzles. There are all kinds of awesome dog toys and puzzles on the market. You can find them online at many different stores. If you're thinking about the best ones to use for your dog and what they really like, the more durable, the better, right? What will help get them some exercise? Depending on what type of your pup enjoys, you might want to try toys for like indoor fetch or tug of war. But there's also really cool rubber balls instead of tennis balls for indoors. There's plush toys. We kind of try to avoid plush toys in our house. But there's some really cool stuff that you can do tug of war with that is less just, you know, something that they're gonna rip up. My senior dog, Maddie, she loves having her plush toys. She's the only one though that's allowed to have them. Mulder, we stick with the Chuckets, just balls that we can throw easily. Macy loves playing keep away and tug of war. But puzzles. This is an example, sorry, of a puzzle that I use with my animals. So puzzles are great because they engage your dog's brain. These little areas, you can kind of move the spots around and kind of cover them, but these are little treat areas. And your dog has to figure out how to move everything to uncover and get the treat. So they keep their enrichment, but they keep their minds busy. So they're not getting bored and they don't require maybe as much attention. So you can set them up with a puzzle and see how well they do. You might need to help your dog get used to doing the puzzles, help them understand how to do them, and that there's treats and little bonuses in them for them. But they're a great way to keep those treat motivated dogs busy. And if your dog, you know, if you do multiple puzzles a day, just remember, reduce their food a little bit so you are accounting for those treats. Now, some of the other cool things out there, there's like things you can use that are kind of like slow feeders, right? So there's the ultimate, these are slow feeder bowls that my pups all use, but there's Kongs, there's lick mats, there's slow feeder bowls, there's different toys, snuffle mats, I always want to call them snuffle mats that you can consider. Now, my dogs don't get to have snuffle mats because they actually try to eat the mats. They do love the lick bowls or the lick mats though. Those are super fun. And they're really great for most dogs to kind of keep them busy for a little while, give them something to do. Now, with any of these slow feeders, if you use them more as games or different things, it just kind of, remember, you're not giving your dogs twice as much food. You're giving them less food during their meals so you can give them some food during these exercises, right? So one of the most important parts is that they'll enjoy the treat they're getting for all their hard work. So start small, figure out what works for your dogs. And you know, you can do a frozen lick mat, you can do a frozen Kong. You can put things in there that will take, you know, your dogs a couple hours, hopefully, to devour. The snuffle mats and the toys that dispense treats, those are a little less time, but they're still very mental stimulation for the dogs. But there's a lot of DIY things that you can do. You can create your own kind of Kong treat by using a bell pepper. You can also create your own kind of snuffle mat by rolling up treats in like a towel. So there's tons of options out there. All right, games and activities are also a great way for your pup to get some exercise and fun while staying inside. Playing a game or playing an activity with your pup is a great way to keep their mind and body active, as well as getting involved in some of the quality time. You can make up any kind of game that you want with them. Hide and seek with treats, indoors. We actually do this thing at the dog park where we put treats in like little cups. We say we did it for Red Cup Day and like different things, or Red Envelope Day, and we used red cups. But the dogs have to like kind of go sniff out the treats, right? They have to use their noses to find them. The most important part of quality time is that you're both having fun, right? You want to make sure that anything you do with your dog, you're having fun. Now, I also wanted to throw out there that this is a button. Walk. So you program the button to say a word. This one's programmed to say walk. Buttons are super cool. There's a lot of TikTok and Instagram famous dogs that can, you know, form full sentences using buttons. My dogs are only on their third word. Outside, walk, a few others. But these are kind of fun things that you can teach your dogs. When they want to go in and out of the house, they have to push a button, you know, or when they want to do an activity with you, maybe they can ask for treats, or maybe they can ask for a walk. Buttons are also a really fun way to connect with your dog. Now, the best way to keep your dog happy, active, and comfortable when you can't stand or can't spend time outside, can't stand outside because it's too hot, is an indoor dog park. I don't know if you live in an area that has one. Here in Tucson, we are fortunate. We have Dogs of Tucson, and Dogs of Tucson is a great place for dogs to run and play, socialize, and all kinds of different activities. They have a calendar full of lovely activities for the humans as well, from everything from like a sip and sketch, which is coffee and tea and sketching your dog, to sip and savasana, which is dog yoga, or what else do they have? They have a book club. So tons of activities for the humans, tons of activities for the dogs. It's a canine social club. So indoor dog park, canine social club, whatever you want to call it. Dogs and dog lovers rejoice because you have an air-conditioned place to play. Keep in mind that these indoor dog parks should be vetting the dogs, should be checking vaccinations and doing all those lovely things. And this is Wag.Wander.Repeat. Thanks for listening to this segment about indoor enrichment. I'd love to answer any of your questions. Please leave me comments or thoughts below, and subscribe. If you enjoy any of the content we're putting out, please subscribe.